Good morning. So this morning we're going to be painting and drinking hibiscus flowers, and I'm going to talk about how I use hibiscus flowers for energy. So I'm drinking my brand of tea. It is floral tea for anemia, and the main ingredient is hibiscus. So I'm taking a scoop of hibiscus flowers, blueberries, and roses. Okay, so now I'm gonna put some hot water and then let it steep, and then we'll start painting the flower. One of the most beautiful things about hibiscus is the color change. So I'm going to sit it in the corner and you'll see that it'll start to change from a really faint pink to a dark red. See, I'll put it here so you can still see it. Okay, hibiscus flowers. Now, I first discovered hibiscus when I was living in New York, and I was drinking it as sorrel. So if you are from the Caribbean, or if you've ever been to the Caribbean, then you know that they make hibiscus um, drinks with cardamom, cinnamon, nutmeg, sugar, ginger, and then put a little rum in it. And it creates a delicious drink like sorrel. And then when I went to Mexico, I tried it as agua de Jamaica. So it's pretty much used the same way. I'm not sure if they put the same spices, but it's pretty much the same concept. Now, hibiscus, from what I've read, is from Africa. They call it cola. And what I've discovered, since I am anemic and I have a blood disorder, is that it is great for the blood pressure, and it's also great. I use it to pretty much maintain the count of my red blood cells. So my red blood cells can drop fairly quickly. Um, I have very irregular shaped blood cells, and for a very long time, doctors would just go straight to trying to give me a blood transfusion or iron supplements or iron shots. And one other thing that I realized that I have is I'm very sensitive to medicine. So if I take a medicine and there's a side effect of the medicine, I'm going to scoot this over just a little bit so you can see, then more than likely I'm going to get the side effect of the medicine. So when I discovered hibiscus without the sugar, and without drinking it as sorrel or agua de Jamaica, just the benefits of hibiscus, I started to drink it as a tea. And then I started to just monitor my red blood cell count. I would go to the doctor when I wasn't drinking hibiscus regularly, and sometimes my blood count would be a little low. But when I am drinking hibiscus regularly, and I mean every day, or at least a few times a week, then I realized that my blood count was either stable or it was even sometimes higher than usual. So I know that for sure that this flower does what it says it does. And I also tested this out on my grandma, who has a trait of the same blood disorder. She unfortunately have been very dependent on blood transfusions and iron supplements for many, many, many decades. But I just figured it's never too late. She's 91. It's never too late to introduce a natural flower or natural herb to her that can help maintain her red blood cells. So I started to introduce her to hibiscus. And the reason why I created the tea and I created other things in the tea was not only to enhance the taste, but to also just add even more benefits that complement the hibiscus flower. So the blueberries give it a natural sweet taste without the added sugar, which is great if you like a slight sweet taste. Well, let's talk about energy. So if you struggle with anemia or anything, any type of illness that makes you feel fatigue, from my experience, caffeine is almost like pouring gasoline into your body. I would sometimes wake up in the morning and I could barely keep my eyes open because I was so tired from my blood cells, for my red blood count being so low. I would just sleep, especially if it was that time of the month. I would just sleep, 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 sleep. But when I started to drink and consume hibiscus, it gives me a little energy. Now, it's not energy like you would get from caffeine. It's not like that adrenaline rush, but it is a nice light boost of energy. It's a nice light boost of energy without the harshness or the side effects or the hangover that I feel like when I drink too much caffeine. So I've seen hibiscus, usually it's in this beautiful red color, but sometimes you'll see it in pink, you'll see it in orange, you see it in yellow. I've seen some hibiscus hybrids that are a lot of the colors mixed together. I think that it is a beautiful and powerful flower that can give you a nice natural boost of energy. My best friend just logged in. Good morning, best friend, and happy birthday. If y'all are on here, if you don't mind, my best friend is on this live. Just leave in the comments happy birthday to her. Okay, so now I'm going to paint the leaves of the hibiscus flower. I'm going to pull this up just a little bit. I'm using this watercolor palette that I use a lot when I'm traveling, and I'm almost out of it. I'll leave a link in the description box once I finish this video if you want to test it out. And if you're in this live, I would love to know if you have ever tried hibiscus and if you like it. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to paint from this hibiscus flower is the stamen. This is the part that holds all the pollen. And we're done. A beautiful, quick watercolor hibiscus flower. As I'm learning more about flowers that heal, flowers that relax the mind and the body, I'm also trying to consume. I'm sorry. As I'm learning more about these flowers, I'm also using the process of painting these flowers as meditation. So the slow process of using watercolors and the idea of watercolors where you can't really control where the water goes. I've mastered this medium, but I do encourage everybody to try to paint with watercolors. So this concludes our morning meditation and tea. Again, this is the hibiscus tea that I'm using, my brand of tea, Floral Tea for Anemia. I'll leave that below if you're interested in trying. And then I'm just going to show you the way our tea looks now. So you can see that the roses are on top and it's a beautiful red, juicy color that I'm going to I'm going to drink now. All right. Thank you all for the compliments. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. PST and 8 a.m. CST. Penny said, Penny Vere said, happy birthday, friend. Happy birthday, Chris. Everybody tell my friend happy birthday. All right, y'all. Take care.